Hello everyone. In this session, we will learn building an Express.js server. Before we dive in, make sure you install VS Code editor, you install Node.js. Once that is done, go ahead and create a new folder in your directory called as Express. Once that folder is created, go ahead, open Visual Studio Code, go to File, open folder, and open the folder which you have just created. In my case, it was Express. Once that is done, open the VS Code terminal. Let's initialize our application using npm init. Once you run this command, you'll get certain set of questions. First question is package name. You can enter name as Express app. Hit enter. Once that is done, you can leave the version as 1.0.0. Description also you can add say Express app demo. Entry point leave it as index.js. Hit enter. Test command you can skip for the time being. Git repository also you can skip by entering. So just keep on entering. At the end, you will get whether this is okay. Let's say yes. Once you do this, you will see a package.json file added to your application. Now let's go ahead and install Express, the library which we will use to create our node server. Once you run this command, once it is installed, you open package.json file and you will see that Express.js is added to your application's package.json file. Now let's create a file which will handle our server. So let's create a file called as server.js which will have our server code. Now let's create a variable called as express which will basically handle the express package. So this is we are importing express package which we have just installed. So now the express normally holds a top level function. So we have to execute that function using parentheses. Now this top level function will basically allow us to create our server. So there's a method called as listen. So your server will listen on port number 8080. You have a callback method. So once your server is up and running on this port, you'll get a callback method. Inside this callback method, let's log a message which will tell us whether our server is up or not. So let's say server is up and running at port 8080. So we have done coding. Now let's run our command. So our command is node server.js. So we are basically executing our server.js file using node. Once you run this, you get this message which you just wrote inside your callback function. Now, just to make sure our server is up, let's go to browser, enter localhost 8080. Remember, 8080 is the port which we created while we were creating our server file. When you hit it, you get a message that you cannot get access to this backslash. But still our server is up. We are getting this message because we have not specified any routes. Just to make sure our server is up, go ahead, press Ctrl C. Now you have stopped your server. Come to this browser again, reload this thing, and now you'll see the site cannot be reached, meaning your server is down. Again, go ahead and run the same command, node server.js, hit enter. Your server is up and running again. The method this message you're getting because we have not handled route. We will do this in the next session. By that time, thank you and keep learning.